Hey guys, it's February 8th and we're gonna be going through the daily Bible reading. And so if you guys haven't read Exodus 19 through 21, Psalms 33 and Ephesians 5, I'd definitely recommend reading it before we talk about it, because it really, having the context really helps with understanding what we're going to be talking about. But in these passages, you see Moses bring the Israelites to Mount Sinai, and it's when he receives the Ten Commandments in Exodus chapter 19 through 21. And in this moment, you see God give the Israelites boundaries. And boundaries is typically a word that we associate when it comes to like relationships, of whether it be with friends, dating, or other people, of like, hey, these are my boundaries, please don't cross them. So that way you can have a great friendship and be able to continue on going well. But boundaries sometimes is more than just also how you interact with other people, but they're for yourself, of knowing of what you should and shouldn't do, so that way you can live life with a sense of direction and a sense of what you should and shouldn't be doing, which is exactly what the Ten Commandments is, which is Exodus chapter 20, and so forth, where God tells the people, hey, this is how you should be living your life. You see it even in Ephesians chapter 5, for later, when Paul tells Christians how they should be living, how they should be having Jesus as an example in their life, of this is of Jesus at the example and the boundaries of how you should be living to follow God, and you should be doing the same, which isn't always an easy thing to do when you think about it, right? It's hard to sometimes to stop and think, man, what are the boundaries of what I would consider acceptable for how I live my life? And are these boundaries that I have set in my life ones that are God honoring? Are they the ones that are honoring to the Ten Commandments that you see in Exodus chapter 20? Are you taking God's name in vain? Are you committing any form of adultery, whether it be looking at someone improperly or looking at stuff that you shouldn't be looking at, like porn? It is boundaries in your life that you set up, and that is what you see Moses giving to the Israelites, even in the simple form of putting a fence around Mount Sinai, because God told them that if you come onto this mountain when you're not supposed to, you're gonna die. Whether it be by stoning, by arrows, you are gonna die if you approach this mountain when you're not supposed to. He set boundaries for the Israelites in how they are supposed to live and where they should and shouldn't be going as his chosen people of God, which is very much so the same for us. So we are people of God who are sent to go and make disciples of all nations and to make more disciples amongst people, but we need to have boundaries for our own life of what we are going to, not even what we're going to, how we are going to live our lives as Christians, and how we are going to have our lives be an example to all of those around us, whether it be our co-workers, our classmates, or our family members, whether they be immediate family members like mom and dad, or extended family members like your second cousin twice removed. Whatever it may be, you are setting boundaries for yourself of, this is where I'm going to live my life, all the way up until the point of you're going to tell them, no, I am no longer going to go with you to these points. That's how it was for me in high school. Of I hung out with lots of guys who were not Christians, and I did stuff with them all the way up until a certain point and went, no, guys, I'm not going to do that with you. You guys can go and do it if you want, but I am called to live this way by Christ. And so I'm not going to go off and go to this party with you. I'm not going to go with you because you want to go do drugs or whatever it was. I took a stand and said, no, this isn't what I'm going to do. And it was a boundary I had set for myself as a follower of Christ, and something that we all need to do. And it's been shown to us through scripture in many different points and times. And it's something that you should do for yourself. So I want you guys to think about that as you read through the scripture and as you go throughout your day, of what are some boundaries as a follower of Christ that I can have for myself. And so until next time, you are sent.